but we're going to be able to find out exactly what's what. So pick up the realigner, guys. It's the time that we can be able to do it. It is a Friday evening. BIM, warm and easily selected. We're going to be talking about these things, and I know it's going to be a little bit different than being able to just sort of identify what's happening from a national perspective. We're talking more specifically to the candidate of choice. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to be able to introduce you to a vivacious, is that a word? I think it is. I feel like it's a word, right? It's strong. Right? And it actually it encompasses this kind of a passion that I see exude, this kind of an irreverence for the traditions that haven't served us for a very long time. I see her standing, I see her determined, I see her focused, I see her committed, and I see her campaign. I see her pink all over the place. And I want to be able to introduce you to the independent candidate for the constituency of Golden Isles, who is vying for the position of representative come Monday, the 24th of November, none other than Karen Butler. Ms. Butler, how are you today?
I'm well, Howard, and thank you for having me.
You're looking gorgeous. Praise God for you. It's wonderful to have you. I'm always grateful that you've been able to stop by. We should have done this earlier. I'm grateful that you found time to be able to be with me. It is a wonderful thing.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. If you want to introduce yourself to persons, let them know who you are, and then we can get into the conversation about why Golden Isles, why this time.
Well, I'm actually a resident of the Golden Isles constituency, and that is one of the main motivations for me entering this race. I looked at what the options were presented to me for this by-election, and I decided it's not going to work. These people do not represent my values and my vision for the constituency in which I live, especially those persons who were nominated by the big parties, who have done the back and forth with not fulfilling promises to the people as they should, and who always wait for the last minute to do things just before an election. Also, apart from waiting for the last minute and late on delivering promises except when there's an election, these are the same parties who compare themselves to each other, saying, okay, well, I failed worse than you, or I failed better than you the last time you were in. Mm-hmm. And then we go and we re-elect the same people and we repeat the cycle. Insanity, they say, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. Well, we're not expecting a different result this time by doing the same thing. We're going to get a different result by doing something different.
You know, we've been talking about this. We've been talking more specifically about appetite. We've been talking about whether or not the Bahamian people have an appetite for change, have an appetite to be able to see transparency, accountability, and this forward movement in the country. We've been talking about that. Now, like you said, you're a resident of the constituency of Golden Isles. I suppose that you have an acquired taste. You want something different. As you were canvassing the ground over the past few weeks, and more specifically living in the community, you would have known how the representation would have existed in the constituency before. Talk to me about an appetite for change. Does there exist an appetite, a desire to be able to see change, and more specifically in the constituency of the Golden Isles?
Yes, Howard. Let me say this simply. There are approximately 8,000 voters, registered voters, in the Golden Isles constituency. Mm-hmm. Golden Isles extends from the Golden Isles Road, which is the detention center on the road, commonly known as, right, all the way past Adelaide, almost to the back of the Albanese back gate. Everything headed south on the Carmichael side. And of course, there's the northern side that encompasses parts from the Coral Harbour Road all the way over to the Gladstone Road, cut by Fire Trail Road West. Mm-hmm. That is a very diverse cross-section of our society that reside in Carmichael Road. So the needs are varied. But for the greater part, I can tell you, the residents of Golden Isles don't ask for much. We don't require much. We are very independent people who just want the government of the day, whomever they may be, to do right by the people. Let's just look at the roadworks. Let's look at the flooding. Let's look at the street lights. These are standard infrastructural things that every government should do and deliver. People should not be asking for these things to be done by any measure. These are supposed to be things that are automatically done by the government. And so, in terms of needing, we just need the government to do what they're supposed to do. And that is where I come in. The member of parliament for the Golden Isles constituency, or for any constituency as a matter of fact, should be a person that advocates on behalf of the people of the constituency. And so I will be the person to advocate for things that are not getting done, to be done, and to implement things that are not already in existence. So that would be my primary role as the member of parliament for the Golden Isles constituency.
Most recently, we would have heard Brian Brown, who's another candidate for one of the major organizations, the Free National Movement, take on this kind of a position as this kind of a spat in the media between he and Darren Pickstock, who's the candidate for the PLP. Now, a lot of persons talk about the big two, but in the midst of being able to have that kind of a conversation, one of the things that actually stood out to me is that he's indicated in the event that Darren Pickstock is victorious, that the work that we're seeing happen in the Golden Isles constituency right now will come to a screeching halt. In fact, bushcrack, man gone. Now, with this being said, and understanding the mechanics of how politics exist in our country, do you believe a victory for Karen Butler can be able to place you in a position to ensure that you could see past that and get the work to be not only completed, but for them to execute other things in this particular constituency?
Absolutely, Howard. This, you see, like I say, giving me cake and ice cream to get something from me can only work for a time. I'm advocating right now for the road works to be completed before Monday, as much of it as possible before Monday, if this government is serious about satisfying the needs of the people. The lights, street lights on Cowpen Road, please, by Monday. Let's have that done by Monday.
It's a lot of work to do over the weekend.
Howard, and we have been agitating for this work, simple work to be done. And whether it stops or not, you know who would not stop if elected? Who would not stop advocating for the people, not only for the people, but for myself as a resident of the Golden Isles constituency to have the work completed? You know who would not stop advocating, Howard? Karen Butler will not stop advocating for the work to be done with that platform.
I like this. But your advocacy has been far and wide. A lot of persons look at politics and they kind of stand off. They say, well, that ain't for me. Child, politics is a corrupt, evil game. That's this, that's that. All these particular things. As I matured and grew, I understood something. I understood that you could either be able to speak at it or carry your convictions to it to see it change. This isn't the first time you've actually put your hand towards politics. Is this something that always existed in you?
You know, I'm considered a leader in my family. I think the eldest of like 5 children.
It's actually for money all the time. I understand.
My mother's house, right? So when it comes to leadership, my sisters and my siblings will tell you, don't boss us around. We're past that stage now. But in terms of leadership, just to say, in terms of leadership, I always had the affinity of leadership in some form, right? Mm-hmm. And it would have extended to the extracurricular activities too I would have participated in. Namely, I've been the president of Toastmasters Club. I've been a director of public image in a Rotary Club. And so community building wise, as well as my involvement in things, I tend to always, fall in some kind of leadership role. So to put it mildly, and to simply say, leadership is just there. It's in me.
And so you've always found this kind of a need to do, because leadership could exist. There is this great debate that's happening right now with the amassed accumulation of some people who seek to get into politics right now and who've done so in the past. Couldn't they just lead from where they are? Leadership doesn't necessarily have to prepare you to politics. The question is, did you find this avenue, this political avenue, as the path to take you to the transformation that you envision?
I wouldn't say that I chose the path, but that the path was chosen for me by people who would have observed me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You said, well, you're good at this, girl. You should try this.
Or, I think you may be great in this particular role. So for the greater part of it, just doing the best you can all the time, I think makes a difference. Be able to advocate for people who truly needs their voice to be heard, but maybe either intimidated to actually speak out, or they may just not have the right words. And so for a long time, I've been doing that for a lot of people. And maybe that is what attracted persons to, make certain recommendations, or
People
maybe
may
open
be attracted
certain
to
doors.
you, but you still have to be able to engage them. No matter who nominates you for this, you have to accept this particular position. You've accepted it with flying colors. You accepted it and placed your passion at the forefront. You accepted it, and it has your convictions enveloped in you, and you decided to be able to move forward. This is an amazing thing. Do you see this as a mountainous task? Is this a significant hill for you to be able to travel? Why I ask that question is because we understand that the PLP, the Progressive Liberal Party, is the government of the day. And we also understand historically the approach that they take when it comes to politics. We understand Brian Brown has been on the ground, like he said, for years, advocating and being able to find a transformation for the constituency of Golden Isles. We understand the momentum that's being built with the Coalition of Independence. And all these elements, these men, are seeking to be able to get a position in this particular constituency. You decided to be able to push forward and stand firm to be able to represent in this area. Is this a mountainous task for you? Is it overwhelming? Talk to me.
I'll simply say it's not overwhelming. It may be a mountainous task, but then there was David and there was Goliath.
Praise Jesus.
Least we forget, right? However, I'm not intimidated by the status quo. And that must be clear to everyone. The fact that I'm able to nominate outside of party politics as an independent should speak volumes to anyone who is following politics. I represent people, like I say, who are not able to come to the forefront to say we are tired and frustrated and we want change. Not only is the 24th of November going to yield a new member of parliament for the Golden Isles constituency, it will also be a report card on our democracy. It will tell the Bahamas and the world what the appetite of the Bahamian people is when it comes to politics. They have the two major parties who have not treated us well and have been going back and forth. You have a smaller party as an option, and then you have an independent person, not affiliated with a party, as your option to speak truth to power. So when those votes are cast and tallied at the end of the day, we can ascertain the state of our democracy in the Bahamas.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be able to stick and stay with us as we continue to be able to have this good conversation. So you're going to hang around with us until about 1 p.m. We're going to talk when we get back about more specifically her vision to execute in the constituency of Golden Isles if victorious. Let's take this quick break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
You! Who, me? Yes, you! What? We tired of the red, we tired of the blue. In Golden Eyes, we ain't the Lulu. We done with the switching back and forth. We going independent, we can be bought. We voting for our residents. Karen Butler confidence. No parties, no tricks. Yes, you.
Yeah.
What? We tired of the red,
You're going
we
twice,
tired
eh?
of the blue.
Okay.
In golden eyes, we ain't the Lulu. We done with the switching back and forth. We going independent, we can be bought. Red Rocks, we voting for our resident. Karen Butler, confident. No parties, no tricks. A real independent. We coming, we coming. Golden eyes, rise up. We coming, we coming. Power to the people, stand up. We coming. Yeah, we coming. We coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on the foundation right here, jamming, and we're coming. We're sitting with the independent candidate in the constituency of Golden Isles, really being able to tell us about her passion, why she's doing this, and how she's pouring her all into the constituency of Golden Isles to let them know that true representation can exist outside of the two major organizations. Outside of the FNM, outside of the PLP, it can exist an individual, a heart, a passion, an idea that can be able to sprout from the soil of a constituency to be able to see some things change. I'm sitting here with none other than Karen Butler, and she's that individual who says that she's coming. Karen, tell the people about why you're coming.
Okay. So, Howard, the great thing about the wheel is we don't need to reinvent the wheel. However, sometimes those wheels get a little creaky and they need a little oil. Okay? So I'm here to put some oil on that wheel. As a member of parliament for the Golden Isles constituency, my primary job, that's the first number one job, will be to speak on behalf of the people of Golden Isles. So when I get up in the House of Assembly and I say I rise on behalf of the good people of Golden Isles, I would have spoken to those good people. So that's my first job, to represent and be the voice of the people.
Most of them don't do that. They only rise on behalf of the people who send them there, not on behalf of the people who tell them, look here, this is what we need.
Okay, so like I say, we oil in the wheel, right?
I go. Let's go.
Now, and then the second responsibility as an MP that I would have is to create legislation. As a trained attorney, I think I'm at least able, right? I can't say that I have that experience in the House of Assembly, but I'm able. I'm quite sure, quite qualified enough to assist in that. Mm-hmm. So those are the primary jobs of a member of parliament. Now, everything else becomes a little additive. We ain't talking about buying no fridge or paying the light bills or nothing like that, right? We're talking about development and community programs, all right? Now,
I also need a fridge. I just want to let you know. Go ahead.
Right. So, development of community programs, especially for the vulnerable among us, right? You have the elderly, you have the disabled, and you have children. When it comes to the elderly, I found that a lot of the older persons that reside in the Coral Harbor area, more specifically, simply because they have homes there, and other elderly people in the Golden Isles community, we need to set up some kind of programs where we can engage the elderly, whether they go in the mornings, like, one or two centers I know already set up, and they have programs and activities, and then they return in the evening. That will be good, as well as programs for the disabled. The children, how we treat these vulnerable population will determine our future, even as a nation. So, again, developmental programs, assistance programs, especially for the sandwich generation, that generation that really has to take care of mommy and daddy. You have children of your own, and you still got to go there and work to make ends meet. So people's personal lives and development, networking with members in the constituency itself, I think is one of the beneficial parts or beneficial things we can do as a community with that constituency allowance of the $100,000 a year. Now, I don't want to bring up anyone's story, but who been there longer than me, doing programs and all of that. If the program should speak for itself. All right? And I don't want to be a person who has to brag about feeding anybody, because the indignity of putting people out in the cold like that, we shouldn't be doing as Bahamians. So generally speaking, basic idea of what should happen under my watch, by direction from the people. Again, I will say, by direction from the people.
So this is something that you want to do. You want to ensure that you always engage the people of the constituency to be able to really bring relief and bring issues to the forefront. Now, let me say this. Most recently, we would have been able to see in the constituency of Golden Isles, there's sort of an idea of, I think there was dealing with some dredging, some group, persons being able to do something, some development out at the southern part of Coral Harbor Road and so forth and so on. Is this one of the things that we're going to be able to hear from you as in terms of being able to agitate against the environmental indifference that's happening in there, or any of the things that these persons are talking about?
Yes, absolutely. Howard, we have government for the people. It's not cliche, It's for the people. So if you were doing something that does not benefit the people, then what is the purpose? What is the purpose? We license our car, we pay taxes, right? We do those things necessary for the good maintenance of roads. If that is not being done for the people, when I drive in the pothole and I have to change a tire, or my, I don't even know what to call it, but the steering arm of the car, the mechanics would know. I don't really know too much about that. But when I have to deal with these things, are you working for the people? The government exists to deal with the issues of the people, as well as the MP for the area is the voice to compel the persons who need to do what they have to do those things. So when it comes to even developmental programs or sites or groupings, you still need to be in touch with the people. They live there. Like I live in Golden Isles. I don't want anybody who don't live in Golden Isles come and tell me what I need.
It's heavy what you're saying, because this is some of the sentiments that I heard the candidate for the Free National Movement actually espouse. The fact that we don't want no outsider. So I guess, well, I don't know where Brian Rowe lives, but is it safe to say that you and Brian Brown are the only two candidates that are living in that constituency?
No, Mr. Roll is my good neighbor too.
He's in the constituency also?
Yeah, he's
I
my
didn't
good
know
neighbor.
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's my good neighbor.
He's a good neighbor.
Yes.
But still vote for you though.
Absolutely. On the 24th of November.
I just want to be clear about this.
Howard, let me just remind your viewers. On the 24th of November, which is this Monday, 2 days away. 2 days away. When you go to the poll, Golden Isles constituents, you are to look.
What's your sign?
I'm just about to tell you.
Tell me what to
you're ahead
look
of
for.
me. You're ahead of me, Howard. Just when you go to the polls, you're going to look for that sign dollar.
Sign dollar.
On that ballot. And you're going to see next to that, the last name Butler. Butler. You're going to mark your X to that particular candidate, me, who lives among you, who is a part of you on that day.
You know, a lot of us have moved from place to place, but I think our heart is definitely in the constituency. Do you have an indifference with people being able to come in to the constituency as an outsider, being able to speak to those things?
I have a difficulty with spending a lot of time trying to tell you my problem as opposed to you experiencing my problem. I think we can move along a bit quicker in that direction. The flood in Coral Harbor, the Coral Harbor
budget.
Yeah, they have a number of issues. All right.
I used to live out there,
So you had a boat or a jet ski?
Well, my truck steering arm going a couple times, because not only did they have flooding issues in the front of Coral Harbor right there, but they used to have one big hole. You remember that big hole? Jesus God.
Swallow you up.
Ooh, right? I thought they mitigated against that. I thought they fixed
We
the
are
issue already.
still talking about. As a matter of fact, there was a town meeting, I understand, 2 weeks ago. I stand to be corrected. But about 2 weeks ago, during this campaign, we're still talking about issues that to me cannot simply progress.
Are you gonna beat the candidates for the big two, which is the FNM and the PRP, with the belt of what your expectations were from the former candidate who's passed away in the person of Von Miller? Are you gonna whip them with that switch to say the PRP can't do this because what we represented or what we saw under Von Miller's time, or the FNM can't do this because what we saw under Von Miller's time? Because this sounds like one switch. One switch, the individual Von Miller had gone from one party to another party, and the same inconsistency or lack of focus on a particular project followed him. So now do you beat the entire organization with the switch? Talk to me.
Howard, let's be real. It's not the MP's responsibility to pave the roads or to fix certain infrastructural problems. It is that of the government, whomever is the ruling party at that time. So I'm not going to beat any person with any switch because it's the party that is responsible as the government for having things done. Okay? Now, it's a shame to have someone sit at the table under both parties and not have a solution
This way again with you.
to that particular
This way
problem.
again with you.
However, as an independent member of parliament, I'm quite sure advocating, and I'm quite sure these parties don't like to hear my voice, I can tell you that, right? They don't like to hear it, right? I can advocate for change
I like this.
and having it done. I'm not even about just having it done, but making it happen. And making it happen means futuristic thinking, not only about the Golden Isles constituency, but of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, including the Bahamian Islands. But then that's another story unto itself, one step at a time, right? As Bahamians, we've lost our way. We have lost our way, and we need to find ourselves. And hopefully on the 24th of November, which is this Monday, Golden Isles will start the process of rebuilding the Bahamas one constituency at a time.
I like this. I like this. See, this optimism is one of the things that we look for. We need you to be able to exude an idea of hope. We need you to be able to have a vision, a concept, an idea, a focus, a concentrated area that we can be able to say to you, oh, well, we know that, yeah, man, this is our passion. This is the direction that she's going. Sitting here with Karen Butler, she's really being able to tell us about her passion, and it continues to be able to spill out of her. I know she want me to tell you this, but she didn't write the whole thing that we hear. The song that we're hearing, she wrote that. This is something that actually exists in her, bubbling out in almost every sphere. She's talking to us about being able to deal with older persons. She's talking about the youth. She's talking about disabled persons in the community. She's talking about all these particular issues that may have been touched on, but not necessarily place the sort of emphasis and focus on for the transformation that the community can do. And Karen, you're saying to us that you come to bring that focus. You come to bring that change. What Golden Isles needs. Talk to me about it.
Absolutely, Howard. Listen, this is the place we call home. I've been living in Golden Isles constituency for more than 20 years. You know how far back it was when I first moved there? I had to purchase a lamp pole and a transformer just to get light.
Everybody around her, she paid for your infrastructure, all her money. Hey, that's be clear, right?
No, it didn't even quite work like that because my next neighbor, they were able to get, electricity off of that pole.
Wow.
But that's how long I've been in the Golden
Wow.
Isles constituency, Howard. And that's where I live. I don't have any place else to go. I may have places to go to visit. No joke about that. But the Bahamas is home. And if we're not invested in our home, where can we be invested? The community that existed in the country is now almost non-existent. And that's another reason why it was important for me to even run as an independent candidate, because you see these contracts have divided our people. You know, when one party in, some people could eat, and they could eat, and they could eat. But when their party out of power, their mouth white as snow. Like I say, how would I hear to oil the wheel? I ain't here to play.
White mouth.
Then there's some, Howard.
You know who you're talking. You know who you is.
Now, Howard, there's some who don't care what party in power, you know.
Their mouth wet all the time.
All the time. And then there's the last group who mouth white all the time.
My God, they don't
Right?
ever get nothing.
I'm telling you. But it is time for us to move away from that division that keeps us down as a people. We are to be, at this point in time, especially because of our geographical location, we are supposed to be able to be doing some big things. And we're not doing it because we simply focus on potholes in the road.
That's it.
How many years are we going to be focused on potholes on the road? Huh? Or lampposts? How long are we going to be focused on flooding? Huh? Or trying to get a jet ski or a speedboat?
The
How
whole
long?
jet ski.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, just to get from one side to the other. How long? How long is the question?
Well, hopefully not long. What the fella say? It ain't long now, right? Yeah, because on Monday, the 24th of November, 2025, I believe that the polls are open at 8 a.m. You can get down there. You know the polling division in your constituency. You know the polling division. Where's it going to be? Anatole Rogers.
And Adelaide Primary.
Adelaide Primary. There's two places.
Correct.
Anatole Rogers and Adelaide Primary.
Just give them the information.
You can be able to find out those things. You should be able to know where your specific polling division exists. I think it's 14 polls. Some polls are broken up into poll A and poll B. I think it's 14 polls
Right.
altogether. Almost?
If you want, I can just give them a quick rundown.
Okay, even some rundown.
Okay, so at Adelaide Primary on Monday, there will be polling divisions numbers 1, 2,
Can you send that to me? I can pop up.
5, 9A, and 9B. That's Adelaide Primary. All the other polling stations will be at the
1, 2, 5, 9A.
and B at the Adelaide Primary School. And the other polling stations will be at the Anatole Rogers High School.
So I suppose 1, 2, 5, 9A, and 9B all would be west of Coral Harbor Road.
Well, not quite.
They in Coral. Some people in Coral Heights too.
Yes.
Really?
It's a little weird for some of it, but the important point right now, right, because we have already have this locked, the important point now is for them to identify which polling division they're in and where they are to go.
And you can do this, guys. You can be able to pick up your voter's card registration. You should be able to see it right there in the corner. It'll tell you which polling division that you're going to be in and where you're going to be voting, right?
Right.
So you want to know where you vote. You want to get in there early. I don't know if you still got work. What do we do? Tell our boss, listen, boss.
You're
I gotta
entitled
vote.
you're entitled to time off to go
Listen,
and
boss.
do your duty.
See my constituency. I gotta work. I gotta go vote. Give me 4 hours. Supposed to get 4 hours. Give me 4 hours off because I can need 3 of them to make a decision. I don't know, or maybe do something. Who knows? You gotta go down there and vote on Monday. Come 8 a.m. is either going to be the Adelaide School. And if you're in the area, you should know where the Adelaide School is. It's actually in Adelaide, right? And then the Anatole Rogers, which is going to be the easternmost part of this particular constituency. So it go all the way Cowpen Road, Zion Boulevard, down Faith Avenue. That is Anatole Rogers. And all the other polling divisions will be in that particular constituency. So let's just be able to do those things. So tell us a little bit more about your vision. Give us the holistic concept and idea about your vision.
Well, outside of what I've already mentioned in terms of community programs, pretty much that spans everyone and covering particularly the vulnerable among us. A lot of it, Howard, will come from the people. And this is what I'm advocating for. It will come from the people.
Naturally.
Exactly. So with us having a whole program and, I have a list of 10 things that I want done. But if it's not a priority for the people, and if it does not satisfy the people, and it does not, you are wasting your time. So you can have a million lists. But if you come to me and I'm saying that's not a priority for us in this area, it's not a priority.
Wow. It's an amazing thing, because a lot of the times, spoken or otherwise, we see individuals take on their own agenda and push their individual agenda at the forefront. And it doesn't matter what the people say. It doesn't matter what one of the pressing issues are in the constituency. It doesn't matter what the focus is. I have an agenda. And that always supersedes everything else. But you're saying to us that the focus is going to be what the people bring to the forefront.
Absolutely. And, life becomes so much easier if all concerned would operate in that fashion. Once you hear from the people and the people get the response that they want, the people are contented, they're cooperative, they respect you, they feel heard, and they feel understood. What a beautiful place for any government to be in, where the people are that satisfied with your representation.
Wow.
Just listen. You enter a group, it's like you entering a room. It's supposed to be all about you. 50 of you are there, but somebody comes in the room and they ask you nothing. They tell you everything, and when they're done, they walk out of the room.
That's been the course of politics in the country.
And that, my friend, has to change.
That's been the course of politics in the country.
We are not...
They walk in the room and they say, this is what we're doing. So what about, I live in the constituency, I hear you, but this is what we're doing.
And Howard, let me just say to you, back then, when we first became independent, we had leaders who we depended on to make decisions for us because they were educated. They were people who we looked to make those decisions because they were educated, more educated than we ever were. Mm-hmm. As time progressed and the advent of technology and the internet, we are all as educated or even more educated than our leaders.
Accessibility, yes.
And so we begin to question decisions. We do not rely solely on them, and we do not trust them solely to make decisions on our behalf anymore. We want a voice at the table. And on Monday, the 24th of November, when the people of Golden Isles elect the independent candidate, Karen Butler, to be their voice, the governments of the Bahamas, if they're not a part of this independent group, they will hear our voice and they will take note.
This is exciting. I could hear you. You know what? Let me. I just want to play this while you're doing that because I just get excited for politics time. While you're talking, I only could hear.
You what? We tired of the red, we tired of the blue. In Golden Eyes, we ain't the Lulu. We done with the switching
We're
back
not
and
the
forth.
Lulu.
We going independent, we can be bought. We voted for a
Listen,
president.
I'm pretty excited for being able to have a conversation with you.
No tricks.
Let me tell you what.
A real independent. We coming.
I like this.
We coming.
Put it down low.
Golden Eyes, rise up.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am excited about politics in this country. I'm excited about the concept and idea for change. I'm excited about growth and development. I'm excited about people participating. I'm excited about people being able to have the conviction to be able to stand up. This is not an easy thing. A lot of persons don't understand that. Mm-hmm. You have to go through so much courses. You got to go through family. You got to go through ridicule. You got to go through, am I good enough? You got to go through all of these particular things to represent and place yourself at the forefront. But there is a churning in your belly. There is a churning inside of you that says, you have to go. You have to go. Go now. And I want to be able to commend you for being able to take up the challenge. This wasn't easy. I know it wasn't. despite the fact that you would have been able to see the statistics for independence, the statistics even for third parties in the country over the past, I don't know, from the existence of our country, at least 40 years. If we ain't 50, it have to be 40. And when we identify those particular things, and you still decided to be able to go forward, you come with a vision, a passion, determination, preparation, and it is a wonderful thing. We want to wish you all the absolute best.
Thank you very much, Howard, for having me. And thank you to all the residents of the Golden Isles constituency who would have faith enough in me to cast your ballot for me on Monday. Thank you.
Tell them again.
Monday, the 24th of November, you are to vote for the independent candidate, Karen K. Butler.
I like how you say that. You ought to vote. You ought to vote for the independent candidate, Karen Butler.
Your
Ladies and
future
gentlemen.
boys. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Karen Butler is here with us, being able to talk to us about these particular things. I'm always grateful to be able to have more. And listen, don't be a stranger now. Turn it up right there. Don't be a stranger. I want you to come back, win, lose, or draw, to continue to be able to talk about politics nationally if you'd have me. I'd love that. Okay?
Thank you, Howard.
All the best, all the absolute best. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take this break. We're going to get back. When we get back, we're hoping to be able to have another candidate to being able to speak to the constituency of Golden Isles. And we look forward to that. Karen Butler, she's coming. I'm going to press play again. Hold on now. Hold on.
Who me? Yes, you.
Listen now.
What? We tired of the red, we tired of the blue. In Golden Eyes, we ain't the Lulu. We done with the switching back and forth. We going independent, we can be bought. We voted for our resident, Karen Butler.
I love this stuff.
No parties, no tricks. A real independent. We coming.
We're going to take this break, guys. Going to be right back
Golden Eyes,
after this. Karen Butler.
we
Monday.